From early on, you were conditioned to believe that everything worthwhile requires effort, that true value is born from sacrifice, persistence, and endless repetition. This programming also influences how you approach manifestation. Maybe you've already felt pressured to visualize with maximum intensity. Repeat affirmations dozens of times. Look for cosmic signs in every detail of your day, or constantly monitor your vibrational state. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself something fundamental? If manifestation operates according to quantum principles, if it's woven into the very essence of the universe, why would it require such exhausting complexity? Why would a universal intelligence, which functions in harmony and flow, need you to struggle to obtain what is already yours by natural right? What most people don't realize is that manifestation isn't complex. It's so simple and fluid that the rational mind tends to reject the idea. Your internal conditioning screams, if it's that easy, it can't work. This silent belief is often the invisible barrier that prevents your true quantum breakthrough. Let's dissolve this illusion. Think about your cell phone connecting to a Wi-Fi network. You don't need to rebuild the entire infrastructure, beg for the signal to reach you, or type passwords repeatedly until the connection happens. You simply enter the correct credentials and instantly you're connected to a flow of information that was always surrounding you. The same thing happens with quantum manifestation. All possible realities are already flowing around you, continuously. You don't need to create them from scratch, battle to conquer them, or chase after them. You just need to connect to what already exists. Here's the paradox. Due to the conditioning that results require effort, you lose perception of the elegant simplicity of connection. You keep testing different passwords of life without realizing you're already connected to universal intelligence. Quantum physics has already demonstrated this. The observer effect shows that reality remains in potential until consciousness collapses it into form. In other words, infinite potential is always around you. Manifestation isn't struggling to force reality. It's calibrating yourself so precisely that the universe has no choice but to reflect what you're already being. Most people get lost in the cycle of excess, trying too hard, without realizing that the true magic lies in natural connection with universal intelligence. Maybe you've already caught yourself repeating affirmations while secretly feeling doubt, or visualizing your biggest dreams while impatience erodes your enthusiasm. Sometimes you act from fear or anxiety, believing you need to try your hardest to achieve something you desire. All of this creates a type of interference that scrambles the signal you transmit to the quantum field. The universe doesn't get confused by this mixed message. It simply reflects back exactly what you're emitting: confusion, insecurity, scarcity. The problem isn't that manifestation doesn't work. The problem is that we've turned something naturally simple into something artificially complicated. We complicate what should flow. I can share something that illustrates this well. I met a woman who spent 3 years trying to manifest her ideal relationship. She made complex vision boards, participated in detailed rituals on full moon nights, wrote pages and pages of romantic scenarios, and meditated on love every morning and night. And nothing changed. Why? Because behind every technique, she was vibrating, "I'm still alone." The more she tried, the more she unconsciously reinforced her reality of separation. The transformation happened in a single moment, when she decided to surrender to the flow without fighting. She woke up one morning and decided to live as if love were already present in her life. She spent the day radiating the feeling of someone who already feels loved, caring for herself with the tenderness she had always sought. Within 3 weeks, she met someone who reflected exactly the frequency she had adopted. What really changed wasn't the external world, it was her internal transmission. She stopped emitting signals of lack and began embodying fullness. This is the great lesson that many manifestation teachers don't share. The quantum field doesn't respond to effort, but to the clarity and coherence of your being. Clarity means that your thoughts, feelings, and actions point in the same direction. It means that no part of you contradicts another. For example, if you declare, "I am prosperous," but feel financial anxiety in your chest, your signal fragments. If you imagine abundance while looking at your bank balance with fear, your frequency disperses. But when you truly live in unity, when you think, feel, and act as if it were already true, quantum manifestation adjusts to your reality with almost mathematical precision. Why do we resist this? Because the mind doesn't like what it can't control. Simplicity eliminates the ego's theater. Our ego needs to feel productive, busy, important, but the universe doesn't reward complication. It responds to coherence, and coherence is always elegantly simple. The irony is profound. The more we complicate manifestation, the more we delay it. The more we simplify, the faster it manifests. Maybe you're wondering if this means just waiting passively. Simplicity isn't an action. It's the most intelligent frequency you can assume as consciousness. By aligning with it, you begin to perceive that you don't need to chase realities, but inhabit them consciously, tuning into the universal intelligence that already flows around you. Once you understand this logic, you'll never waste energy on methods that keep you trapped in limitation. Instead, every thought, every feeling, and every action becomes a conscious reflection of what you want to manifest. And thus, you become an active co-creator of your reality, using quantum manifestation as a natural, simple, and powerful tool. When you truly incorporate this understanding, manifesting your desires stops seeming like hard work and begins to flow as naturally as breathing. Now, I want to address one of the most harmful misunderstandings about quantum manifestation. Simplicity is not synonymous with passivity. Many people, upon hearing that manifesting is simple, automatically interpret, "So you're saying I just need to sit on the couch, do absolutely nothing, and wait for miracles to happen?" That's not it at all. True simplicity means inspired action. Action that flows from your conscious connection to the quantum field. In quantum mechanics, energy always follows the path of least resistance. Think about rivers. They don't fight to carve canyons and mountains. They simply flow, going around obstacles and creating the path naturally. Electricity doesn't struggle with itself to circulate through circuits. Photons don't hesitate before traveling. Everything flows toward openness, harmony, and resonance. You also operate following the same principles. Your desires exist as pure energy. They're already encoded in the quantum matrix. The less internal resistance you carry, the clearer your vibrational signature becomes, and the more quickly the field reorganizes your reality to reflect the timeline you've chosen. Now observe how most people seek to achieve their goals. They overthink, plan every detail, try to control every variable. They say they want love, but micromanage exactly how it should arrive. They want prosperity, but drown in limiting thoughts. Maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it won't last. This isn't simplicity. This is interference. And in quantum language, interference generates decoherence. When particles lose synchronization, their waves cancel each other out. The result is disorder, fragmentation, wasted potential. But when they vibrate in harmony, they amplify each other, forming a coherent force. This is exactly how quantum alignment manifests in your experience. It doesn't mean absence of movement. It means precision in movement. I myself have lived through a moment when I tried to force my intentions. I spent days anxious, overloaded with techniques trying to control every step. Nothing happened until I decided to tune into universal intelligence, let go of anxiety, and move with clarity and intention. Within a few days, I noticed opportunities arising naturally, without excessive effort, because my energy was finally coherent with what I wanted to attract. Neville Goddard, one of the greatest teachers of manifestation, emphasized that you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. This perfectly summarizes the power of simplicity. When you already embody the person who possesses what you desire, there's no need for pursuit. Your vibration naturally attracts what resonates with your inner state. While passivity waits for external changes with hope, conscious simplicity acts with precision, flowing with life's rhythm. Every thought, every feeling, every movement becomes part of a coherent pattern. And it's this coherence, aligned with quantum manifestation, that transforms infinite potential into concrete reality. In essence, simplicity is the most intelligent frequency you can assume as consciousness. It doesn't mean waiting passively, but acting in accordance with the universe's natural flow. Calibrating yourself so precisely that universal intelligence becomes your partner in creating the reality you desire. Now I want you to do a small exercise in personal power. Close your eyes for a moment, breathe deeply, and decree out loud or mentally a phrase that represents the reality you want to create. It can be something simple, but full of intention, like, I am completely aligned with the abundance and harmony of the universe. Feel each word vibrating within you, connecting your thoughts, emotions, and actions to your quantum manifestation. This is the moment to tune into universal intelligence and emit your signal clearly and powerfully. When you truly embody alignment, your inner frequency harmonizes in such a way that change becomes inevitable. Here lies a profound paradox. Often, upon reaching this state of alignment, you do less, not out of passivity, but because unnecessary effort simply dissolves. You stop wasting energy on doubts, micromanagement, or imaginary catastrophic scenarios. You stop fighting against life's flow and begin moving with it. And, curiously, this is precisely what makes your desires manifest more quickly and with greater ease. Research reinforces this understanding. Studies conducted by Dr. Joe Dispenza show that when brain and heart achieve coherence, the body generates an electromagnetic field that extends up to 2.5 meters around you. This coherent field doesn't just influence your biology, it interacts directly with the quantum field, increasing the probability of transforming potential into reality. Participants who achieved this coherence reported biological transformations, accelerated healing, and synchronicities that surpassed any logical explanation. Simplicity, in this context, means that mind, body, and emotions no longer conflict. They emit the same signal, speak the same language. When this happens, the quantum field responds precisely and coherently. And this isn't metaphysical poetry, it's documented physics. So why is this hard to accept? Because we've been conditioned to believe that value equals effort. We grew up hearing that the more we work, the more deserving we become. That struggle is a sign of importance, and that results need to be conquered through sacrifice. But quantum mechanics doesn't work that way. The field doesn't measure how much you suffered. It simply reads the clarity of your frequency, and clarity always presents itself simply. This is why spiritual masters throughout history spoke about surrender, stillness, and silence. They weren't advocating passivity, they were teaching resonance with the universe's flow. Imagine two gardeners planting identical seeds. The first digs intensely, waters compulsively, checks progress daily, and worries obsessively about the weather. The second plants with attention, waters consistently, and then trusts nature's intelligence for growth to happen. Which garden flourishes faster? The first gardener creates anxiety and interrupts the natural growth cycle. The second aligns with organic rhythms. The same applies to manifestation. Simplicity is planting, aligning, and trusting. Passivity would be not planting anything. Misaligned effort is constantly digging up your seeds. True alignment is planting once, with certainty that the harvest will come. In quantum manifestation, simplicity doesn't mean absence of action. It means taking only aligned actions, those that resonate with your frequency, releasing everything else. It means realizing that 90% of what you think is necessary is actually resistance disguised as productivity. When you simplify, release interference, and align, the field begins working in your favor. Opportunities arise effortlessly. Synchronicities guide your steps. Doors open that brute force could never move. This is why alignment seems magical to observers. While others exhaust themselves in confusion, you flow with universal coherence. The truth is this: simplicity isn't passivity, it's mastery. It's the art of aligning so perfectly with the frequency you've chosen that reality reorganizes itself to reflect that alignment. The universe doesn't perceive how hard you tried or how much you sacrificed. It only perceives the clarity and coherence of your signal. And when your signal is simple, clear, and aligned, nothing can prevent the reality you're tuned into from manifesting fully. Many still associate manifestation exclusively with spirituality or mysticism, but the science behind it shows that effortless manifestation is a natural consequence of internal coherence, vibrational clarity, and alignment with universal intelligence. What sustains manifestation isn't just belief or spirituality. Its foundation is deeply connected to the science of coherence. And coherence isn't just a mystical concept, it's a fundamental scientific principle. In quantum physics, coherence describes how particles or waves synchronize, operating as a unified system. When particles vibrate in harmony, they amplify each other's energy, producing powerful and predictable results. This is the same principle that gives lasers their impressive strength. Perfectly coherent light waves can cut steel, while dispersed and incoherent light becomes just a weak glow. Now imagine that your thoughts, emotions, and your physical body function like these light waves. If they're dispersed, conflicting, or fragmented, the signal you transmit to the quantum field becomes weak and inconsistent. But when you align, when mind, heart, and body emit identical frequencies, you generate a laser field of energy that reality cannot ignore. This isn't just a theoretical idea. Neuroscience and psychophysiology have measured the electromagnetic fields that human beings continuously emit. The HeartMath Institute has extensively studied how the heart generates the body's strongest electromagnetic field, which extends several meters around. When heart and brain achieve coherence, their rhythms synchronize, and the body not only functions more efficiently, but the electromagnetic signal emitted becomes stable and potent. Dr. Joe Dispenza demonstrated in his workshops that when individuals achieve heart-brain coherence, their brain waves change to gamma frequencies associated with consciousness expansion and accelerated learning, and the body often shows signs of rapid healing. These discoveries confirm what mystics have always understood. Internal coherence translates to external influence. The more unified your inner state, the more easily the world around you reorganizes in response to you. The great challenge many people face is that they live in fragmentation. They think one way, feel another, and act from programming or fear. For example, someone might think, "I desire abundance," while feeling constant anxiety about money and making decisions based on scarcity. This internal incoherence doesn't just confuse the mind, it confuses the quantum field. In quantum terms, it's like trying to collapse two opposite realities at the same time. Instead of amplifying, the wave patterns cancel each other out, creating disorder and blockages. This is why so many people feel stuck. They're emitting contradictory signals, asking for one reality while embodying another. And the quantum field, being neutral, simply reflects back the dominant vibration, which normally consists of doubt, fear, or limitation. The science of effortless manifestation reveals that less is more. Not because you do less, but because you align more completely. It's about eliminating contradictions, dispersed frequencies, and interference. When your thoughts, emotions, and body move in unison, you stop being divided against yourself, and the quantum field immediately responds to this unity. It doesn't require years of effort or thousands of repetitions. You don't need complex rituals performed to exhaustion. What matters is internal coherence. This is why some people seem to manifest instantly. It's not luck, it's physics. Their internal state is so coherent, so unified that the field has no choice but to reflect this back. To better understand, consider the concept of superposition in quantum mechanics. Before observation, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously, like a coin spinning in the air that is both heads and tails at the same time. Only when an observer interacts does the wave collapse into a single result. And here's something for you to reflect on. Every time you cultivate coherence within yourself, you're becoming a point of stability in the infinite flow of the universe. Every coherent thought, emotion, and action acts as a silent magnet, bringing into your life the possibilities that already exist around you. By realizing this, you understand that you don't need to struggle, seek, or force anything. You just need to become the alignment you want to experience, and universal intelligence will do the rest. In your experience, you're constantly surrounded by infinite possible realities, all coexisting simultaneously in the quantum field. Which one manifests depends entirely on the signal you're emitting. If your mind says yes while your heart says no, you become like an observer oscillating between heads and tails, never completely collapsing any reality. But when your entire being emits a coherent yes, the quantum field instantly organizes itself in your favor. This isn't positive thinking or wishful thinking. It's quantum law in action. And what about effort? Here's the paradox. The more you try from a fragmented state, the weaker your signal becomes. Think of someone desperately trying to fall asleep. The more force they apply, the more sleep escapes. Why? Because the very effort transmits the message, I'm not sleeping. Similarly, effort based on lack transmits, I don't have this yet, reinforcing the reality of absence. This is why effortless manifestation doesn't mean avoiding action. It means your actions arise naturally from internal coherence. Instead of struggling, you act with precision. Instead of forcing, you align. When you simplify, calm the interference, and align heart, brain, and body, results often appear almost magically. But they're not miracles, they're physical laws working as designed. It's the quantum field responding to the coherence of your being, reflecting back the frequency you emit. Think about this. Every coherent thought, emotion, and action is like a thread of light that connects with the vast fabric of reality. When all these threads vibrate in unison, they amplify each other, generating a powerful field of influence that reorganizes life around you to reflect what you already are internally. Now let's connect this to spirituality. Masters like Neville Goddard and Florence Scovel Shinn emphasize the importance of feeling reality as true. They knew that thinking affirmations only with the mind isn't enough. It's necessary to emotionally and physically embody each desire, until your entire being vibrates as if that were already reality. This integration of mind, heart, and body is the key to quantum manifestation. When you allow yourself to feel deeply, When your emotions and thoughts aren't in conflict, you become a magnet for the reality you want to experience. Universal intelligence responds not to mechanical effort, but to the coherence and clarity of your internal state. And here's an important reflection. Maybe you've already felt that moment when everything simply flows. When a decision comes without hesitation, when opportunities arise with ease, when life seems to conspire in your favor. This isn't luck. It's you operating in coherence, emitting a signal so clear and aligned that the quantum field has no choice but to reflect your frequency. Remember, manifesting isn't struggling, pursuing, or pressuring. It's alignment, focus, and coherence. It's feeling, acting, and existing as if what you desire were already real, allowing the universe, or universal intelligence, to work in your favor, elegantly and naturally. What we call effortless manifestation can be understood as coherence expressed in spiritual language. When you feel abundant, think abundantly, and act like someone who already possesses wealth. The quantum field responds as if you truly were prosperous. When you think love, feel love, and embody love in every gesture, the reality around you begins to reorganize to reflect this vibration. The principle is the same, regardless of whether you use mystical terms or quantum physics concepts. Coherence creates reality. Therefore, the science of effortless manifestation isn't about mystical shortcuts or secret formulas. It's about an alignment so deep that the distinction between science and spirituality disappears. It's understanding that the universe isn't ignoring you, it's constantly listening, but only perceives the clearest signal. And the clearest signal is always the simplest. Thoughts, emotions, and body in perfect harmony. This explains why the path to manifestation isn't complexity, but coherence. The less fragmented you are internally, the more powerful your influence over reality will be. Once you master coherence, you'll realize that reality doesn't bend to effort, but to deep alignment. Now that you understand why coherence forms the foundation of manifestation, we can translate this knowledge into practical applications. Understanding intellectually is just the first step. Incorporating these ideas is what actually causes timeline collapse and transforms potentials into reality. Many people overcomplicate manifestation. They pile on techniques, accumulate rituals, create endless sequences of visualizations. But often, this very complexity is what keeps them stagnant. The quantum field doesn't respond to noise. It responds to clarity. This is why the key to effortless manifestation isn't doing more, but making 3 fundamental and powerful shifts in how you relate to reality. These 3 shifts may seem simple, but when practiced with genuine commitment, they collapse timelines much faster than years of complicated effort. The first shift is choose precision over control. Much of the suffering people experience when trying to manifest something arises from obsession with control. How will this happen? When will this happen? Who will bring this? These questions seem practical, but they're actually signals of doubt. In quantum physics, the how is already embedded in the field. Each possibility contains infinite pathways, and your role isn't to design every step, but to align with the final outcome. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle shows that the more you try to precisely determine a particle's behavior, the more you disturb its natural state. This means that trying to control every detail of your manifestation creates interference, while trust and alignment allow the field to organize everything perfectly. To apply this in your experience, you need to realize that internal coherence is your most powerful tool. Every aligned thought, emotion, and action emits such a clear signal that the universe, or universal intelligence, can organize multiple pathways around that signal, bringing the result you're already vibrating to experience. By choosing precision over control, you release the energy wasted on doubt, worry, and micromanagement. Instead of fighting against reality's flow, you move with it, allowing the quantum field to do what it already knows how to do. Reflect back your frequency. If you're feeling the power of coherence and realizing how quantum manifestation can transform your life, how about taking another step in your consciousness expansion journey? Subscribe to Quantum Labs to continue exploring concepts that unite science and spirituality, learn alignment practices, and discover how universal intelligence can work in your favor. Each video is an invitation for you to connect with your highest potential and live the reality that already vibrates within you. The same principle applies to your desires. The more you try to micromanage every detail, the more you destabilize the coherence that would naturally bring what you want. Precision means maintaining the vision of what you want, not as a future possibility, but as an already existing reality, trusting that the quantum field will take care of all the details. The universe's intelligence is infinitely greater than the linear mind that tries to control every step. The second shift is release chronological time. Time is one of the biggest illusions that sabotage manifestation. When you say, "I need this to happen by next month," or "this must occur before my birthday," you're limiting the infinite with a calendar. But the quantum field doesn't follow deadlines. It responds to internal preparation. In quantum physics, the principle of superposition shows that all possibilities exist simultaneously until they're collapsed by conscious observation. This means your desired reality already exists. It doesn't need to be built, just selected and tuned into. The timeline adjusts the moment your internal state coincides with this reality, not when a date on the calendar arrives. Spiritual masters have always understood this deeply. Neville Goddard said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." He never added, "by Tuesday." Manifestation occurs outside chronological time. What really matters is your inner readiness. Releasing fixation on deadlines eliminates resistance and allows the field to deliver results through the most direct and fluid path. The third shift is honor your initial alignment. One of the most neglected truths is that the first moment you feel the spark of a desire is already enough. That initial thought, combined with emotion, transmits a complete quantum command to the field. Constantly repeating the request, while useful for subconscious reprogramming, often signals doubt to the quantum field. By repeating dozens of times, you're not amplifying coherence, you're transmitting uncertainty as if you were saying, "Maybe the field didn't receive my signal. Maybe I need to try harder." The quantum field, however, always receives the first alignment. The challenge isn't to keep asking, but to maintain resonance with what you've already requested. Imagine tuning a radio. You don't need to keep shouting for the station to play your favorite song. You tune in once and listen. If you keep adjusting the dial every second, you lose the signal, interrupt coherence, and weaken your manifestation. Furthermore, maintaining resonance means living according to the frequency of what you desire, feeling, thinking, and acting as if it were already real. When you embody this energy, the quantum field doesn't need to be convinced or pressured. It responds automatically and perfectly to the coherence you emit. Another essential point is that each quantum shift, precision, freedom from time, and maintaining alignment reinforces each other. The more you let go of control, the more confident you become in your first impulse of desire. The more you free yourself from the calendar, the stronger the initial resonance becomes. And when you maintain this resonance, you transform each intention into a magnetic force that organizes reality in your favor, effortlessly, intelligently, and naturally. This quantum triad is powerful because it demonstrates that manifesting isn't about repetitive effort, nor about trying to control every detail. It's about tuning into the field, trusting universal intelligence, and acting in alignment. It's a delicate, elegant, and extremely effective movement that accelerates results and makes the experience of manifesting more pleasurable and light. Manifestation works the same way. Trust that your initial alignment was received and direct your energy to maintaining resonance, not to repeating requests incessantly. These three shifts, precision over control, freedom from time over deadlines, and trust over repetition, represent the essence of allowing manifestation to be natural and effortless. The most fascinating thing is how this connects with a scientific principle called resonance. In physics, when two systems vibrate at the same frequency, they exchange energy without any effort. No extra force is needed. This is why an opera singer can break crystal by holding a single note. The coherence between the voice and the crystal's natural frequency amplifies until it transforms its structure. Similarly, you're also capable of creating powerful transformations. When you stop forcing and start resonating, your reality begins to align as precisely as a perfect symphony. This is the difference between fighting for something and simply allowing it to happen. Repetitive effort often disrupts coherence, while gentle resonance keeps the quantum field completely tuned to your intention. Now, I want you to try something practical. Words aren't just communication, they're vibration. Every time you declare something with your entire being, you're programming your quantum field. So, do a simple exercise with me. Think or say mentally something powerful like, for example, I breathe ease and allow life to flow in my favor. It's not just motivation, it's a quantum declaration. By internalizing this practice, you signal to the field that you've released complexity, abandoned control, and chosen to resonate. You're telling the universe, I trust my coherence. And the field always mirrors trust much faster than doubt. Breathe deeply. Let this settle. Simplicity isn't passivity. It's intelligence, quantum intelligence. Once you understand and apply these shifts, you'll see that life begins to organize itself in ways you could never have planned or forced. The power of choosing ease transforms every action, every decision, every moment of your day. You realize that the reality you desire isn't waiting to be built. It already exists. In fact, you've already connected with this timeline many times, in small moments of certainty or fleeting experiences when you felt, this is already real. The problem is that we often disconnect as quickly as we connect. We feel the simplicity of alignment, but the mind intervenes. It can't be that easy. And in that instant, the connection drops. The quantum field doesn't withhold anything from you. It doesn't store signals, doesn't select who deserves or who doesn't deserve. It simply reflects back the vibration you emit in real time with absolute precision. This means the reality you desire is already present, available, and waiting only for your tuning. But there's a fundamental condition. It will only respond fully when you decide to remain consciously and coherently connected. The more you sustain this internal alignment, the more life around you begins to automatically reorganize in tune with your frequency. What once seemed like coincidence, chance, or luck now reveals itself as the natural manifestation of what you're already being. Every opportunity, every meaningful encounter, every experience that comes into your life is a direct reflection of the coherence you maintain internally. It's essential to understand something profound. The timeline you desire doesn't need to be built from scratch. It already exists in the quantum field, just as you already possess all the internal resources necessary to access it. The only difference lies in your ability to allow, to not interfere, to not fight against the natural flow, and to not give in to doubt. Often, what blocks manifestation isn't external circumstances, but internal resistance. When you surrender to coherence, allowing your thoughts, feelings, and actions to resonate with the frequency of what you desire, you open space for universal intelligence to organize all elements in your favor. This conscious permission isn't passivity, it's intelligent action at the quantum level. You continue to move, decide, and act, but all your choices emerge from a state of alignment. There's no need to force, micromanage, or repeat rituals. The simple fact of sustaining your coherent state activates the reorganization of reality around you. The quantum field immediately responds to this clarity, allowing your life to begin reflecting, more fluidly and naturally, what you already vibrate internally. Another important point. When you understand that everything is already present in the quantum field, you stop feeling the pressure to create or conquer something external. You begin to perceive that manifestation isn't about accumulating or struggling, but about recognizing, accepting, and resonating with what already exists. It's as if every fragment of your reality were waiting for you, awaiting only that you tune your own frequency to it. The more you maintain this tuning, the more coherence expands, generating a multiplying effect. Situations, people, and resources compatible with your vibration begin to flow to you, often in surprisingly simple, quick, and natural ways. Finally, the great lesson is that you don't need to build, conquer, or force anything. Everything is already present. What matters is your willingness to maintain resonance with what you desire, allowing the universe, with its infinite intelligence, to organize every detail in perfect harmony with your frequency. Every moment you remain connected, conscious, and coherent is a moment when your manifestation approaches inevitably, naturally, and elegantly. Consider this perspective with me. Quantum physics reveals a multiverse of possibilities, where all outcomes already exist in superposition. Each choice we make doesn't create something entirely new, but collapses a reality within infinite parallel universes. From the consciousness perspective, this branching isn't outside you. It happens within your field of perception. You're not waiting for your dream to be created, you're simply tuning into the branch of reality where it already exists. Great masters and scholars like Neville Goddard called this living from the end, and Joe Dispenza describes it as tuning into a new frequency. Physicist David Bohm spoke of reality as an implicate order, meaning everything is already unfolded, waiting only to be observed with coherence. Different words, same truth. You're not manifesting something new, you're remembering what is already true. And it's this remembering that transforms everything. When you truly accept that your timeline is already chosen, the struggle dissolves. You stop asking, "When will this happen?" and begin affirming, "This is already happening." You stop creating endless and complex strategies to get there, and instead embody the energy of already being there. This isn't passive fantasy, it's active resonance. The timeline doesn't need your force, it needs your permission, and this permission comes through conscious surrender. Every time you release the need to control, you approach the frequency of your realized self, that version of you that already inhabits the reality you desire. Why does this work so powerfully? The answer lies in coherence. When your mind, heart, and body vibrate in a unified way, probability transforms into reality almost automatically. Imagine your energy field as a tuning fork that constantly vibrates, emitting your unique frequency to the universe. Every desire you've ever had is like another tuning fork pulsing within the same quantum field. When you achieve true alignment, it's like striking the tuning fork corresponding to your desired timeline. The two immediately enter resonance. There's no need to search, control, or manipulate all the universe's tuning forks. Just sustain your own coherent vibration long enough, allowing the resonance to grow, amplify, and become dominant. This mechanism works through what scientists call morphic resonance, a principle whereby established patterns influence the formation of similar patterns in space and time. Simply put, what you emit with coherence isn't lost. It organizes and guides other compatible frequencies to approach you. When you align deeply with the reality you want to experience, you create an internal and external morphic field that naturally attracts these similar frequencies. This means it's not necessary to seek or grasp things outside yourself. It's not about attraction in the traditional sense, as if you needed to chase external resources or situations. It's about activating a resonance pattern that has always existed in the quantum matrix and simply allowing it to manifest in your experience. The more you understand this, the more you realize that every coherent thought, emotion, and action contributes to amplifying your manifestation capacity. The quantum field doesn't respond to dispersed effort, doubts, or haste. It responds to clarity, presence, and attunement. Thus, when you keep your internal tuning fork in harmony with what you desire, you begin to notice changes flowing naturally, precisely, and almost instantaneously, reflecting what you already vibrate in essence. Furthermore, this alignment creates a kind of quantum domino effect. Once your frequency resonates with the desired timeline, other compatible elements begin to reorganize around it, bringing opportunities, people, situations, and insights that previously seemed disconnected. All this happens because you're operating in coherence with universal intelligence, allowing the quantum field to act according to the frequency you sustain. There's no magic, luck, or external force. There's only respect for the natural flow of manifestation and the power of coherent resonance. In essence, quantum manifestation is about becoming a focal point of coherence, where the energy of your intention integrates perfectly with the quantum field. By deeply touching the frequency of what you desire, you establish a pattern that cannot be ignored. Every fragment of your being, thought, feeling, and action begins to work in unison, generating a field of resonance so potent that it attracts to itself everything that already vibrates at this same frequency. And it's in this process that you perceive the true simplicity of creation. It's not about struggling, controlling, or seeking, but about aligning, sustaining, and letting universal intelligence do the rest. Think of this like a hologram. In a hologram, each fragment contains the complete image, regardless of which piece you observe. Each part reflects the whole. Similarly, each moment of authentic alignment you achieve contains the entire pattern of the reality you desire, even if that moment is brief or subtle. It's not necessary to maintain absolute coherence every second of your day. What matters is touching deeply into this frequency, connecting with it internally, and allowing it to propagate naturally through the field of your experience. When you sustain this state, even for a few moments, the quantum field responds, reorganizing possibilities and accelerating manifestation organically and fluidly. Reality works by resonance, not by effort. However, most people abandon this simplicity quickly. They feel a flash of alignment and think, "This is good, but it's not enough." And then they begin to doubt, complicate, and overpractice. This behavior fragments the frequency, disperses energy, and interrupts the natural propagation of vibration. It's like striking a tuning fork and then constantly turning it off. The sound can't propagate, and resonance is lost. Change doesn't stop because the universe failed them, but because they rejected the very simplicity that was already generating the desired effect. Many modern approaches to manifestation end up creating more barriers than solutions. They transform something that should be natural, organic, and intuitive into complex systems of techniques, stages, rituals, and protocols, leading the mind to believe that access to one's own creative power depends on external validation, sophisticated tools, or special knowledge. This generates anxiety, pressure, and frustration, and often prevents manifestation from actually manifesting. Quantum reality doesn't work this way. It responds to coherence, not forced effort. Every time you try to force or endlessly repeat the process, you create interference, and the field simply can't reflect your intention clearly. The great revelation is that true strength lies in simplicity, in the elegance of tuning into the frequency of what you desire, and allowing the quantum field to do the rest. When you internalize this, you realize that manifestation isn't about complication, sacrifice, or external control. It's about conscious empowerment, universal intelligence, and natural fluidity. Simplicity, when understood, transforms into extraordinary power. It allows you to release patterns of unnecessary effort, trust life's flow, and keep your energy clean, focused, and coherent. It's in this state that manifestation stops being something distant or complex and becomes a natural extension of who you already are, reflecting the infinite potential that has always existed within the quantum field. Here's the profound paradox. The more you allow manifestation to be natural, fluid, and effortless, the faster results appear in your experience. Often, we think that to create changes we need to struggle, control every detail, or repeat techniques infinitely. But quantum reality works in the opposite way. The more you simplify, the more powerful manifestation becomes. This is why spiritual masters from all traditions have always emphasized detachment. They knew that force, excessive effort, or anxiety don't create reality. What really generates transformation is the coherence of your being, the harmony between mind, body, and emotions, aligning your energy with what you want to experience. When you maintain this state of connection without interference or internal fragmentation, you allow universal intelligence to reorganize all elements of your environment precisely and naturally. It's as if the entire universe were waiting only for your clear vibration to adjust and reflect what already exists in the quantum field. Every desired reality is already present in potential. What changes is your ability to tune into it coherently and consistently. The more you abandon the need to control, to micromanage, or to prove to yourself that you deserve, the faster manifestation becomes inevitable. It's in this simplicity that true magic resides. It's not about mystery, luck, or superhuman efforts. It's about the science of quantum manifestation operating naturally, intelligently, and precisely. When your mind, heart, and body are aligned, the coherence you emit acts as a powerful catalyst, accelerating the collapse of the desired timeline and allowing what you want to experience to become tangible with minimum effort and maximum conscious presence. This approach teaches us something transformative. We don't need to force reality. We only need to respect the quantum flow, maintain clarity in our intentions, and trust the field that already contains all possibilities. The more we internalize this simplicity and remain connected with the frequency of what we desire, the more we realize that manifestation isn't a complicated external act, but rather a natural expression of our own internal alignment. It's in this state that you perceive life organizing itself in your favor, without resistance, fluidly, and incredibly precisely. Deep down, what seems like magic is simply you becoming a conscious conductor of quantum energy, where every coherent thought, emotion, and action contributes to manifestation revealing itself. The secret is abandoning the idea of constant effort, releasing control and letting universal intelligence do what it has always known how to do best. Bring into visible form what you already vibrate internally as real. Now I want to invite you to do a powerful quantum activation here, at this exact moment. Breathe deeply, Feel your frequency align with the reality you desire, and in the comments, decree with confidence the following powerful phrase: I am the vibration of my already manifested reality. Don't write this just as words. Feel, live, and allow every cell of your body to resonate with this truth. By declaring this intention, you're programming the quantum field, releasing interference, and affirming your internal coherence. The universe responds instantly to clear and aligned signals. This is your opportunity to seal your attunement and consciously activate the manifestation of what is already present in the quantum field. It's important that you understand. It's not about disconnecting from the desire itself, but freeing yourself from control, deadlines, excessive effort. You don't need to hunt reality like it's prey. You're called to invite it into your experience, becoming the frequency it recognizes. It works like gravity. You don't beg for an apple to fall from a tree. It only moves when its own vibration aligns with Earth's force. Your manifestation works the same way. The possibility already exists fully. Materialization is inevitable when you achieve true alignment. Stop for a moment and reflect. How many times has something manifested only after you stopped fighting so intensely? This isn't coincidence, it's quantum law in action. Every conscious surrender was a micro-manifestation. Every moment you released control allowed the universe to reorganize elements to deliver exactly what was destined for you. You were never lucky, you were simply aligned. Now that you perceive this pattern, you can choose it consciously, repeatedly, in any area of your life. The key is understanding that you're not creating your future, but rather collapsing into it. Every doubt delays the process. Every conscious surrender accelerates manifestation quantumly. The timeline you desire already exists. The only question is, will you remain vibrating with it or disconnect? The more you stay aligned, the more this frequency integrates into your daily experience, allowing your consciousness to interact directly with the quantum field. This integration isn't just theoretical, it's a living practice that transforms how you perceive and act in the world. Imagine that every action, thought, and feeling of yours is like an electric current flowing through a circuit. If there's resistance, if there's energy dispersion, the current fragments and nothing materializes. But when you harmonize, when your thoughts, emotions, and body vibrate at the same frequency, you create a powerful coherence current capable of reorganizing your reality with ease. Every conscious breath, every small I already am you declare strengthens this current, aligning the quantum field with your intention. The deepest point of this practice is that quantum manifestation was never about trying harder, running faster, or proving your worth. It was always about remembering. Remembering that your desired reality doesn't wait to be built in some distant future. It already exists, here and now, vibrating in the quantum field, waiting for you to say yes. And when you allow effort to give way to resonance, when you stop fighting and simply board the frequency of what already is, everything begins to reorganize naturally and fluidly. It's in this moment that simplicity reveals its true strength. Most people never believe this because conditioning makes us associate value with difficulty, effort, and endless repetition. But the truth is that the universe doesn't reward suffering or forced insistence. It responds to coherence, and coherence arises the instant you stop dispersing your energy in multiple directions and focus on a single truth. I already am. This is the frequency of power. This is the frequency of conscious surrender. And it's exactly this frequency that collapses timelines and transforms potential into tangible reality. Now breathe deeply. Feel every cell of your body vibrating in tune with this truth. Every thought, Every I am you pronounce is a quantum declaration of alignment, not just for your desire, but for the integration of your entire energy field with the manifestation you already possess. At this exact moment, you're not just contemplating the future, you're choosing it with every breath, every heartbeat, every thought that harmonizes with universal intelligence. And the beauty of this is that you don't need to try anymore. The only thing necessary is to remember more deeply, stay in tune with internal coherence, and allow the universe to work with you, flowing organically, intelligently, and naturally. This reflection is essential. Manifestation doesn't require you to chase anything. It only requires that you perceive and harmonize with what is already present, that you trust the process, that you allow your internal coherence to become the compass by which the universe organizes everything around you. When you internalize this truth, every step you take isn't just action, but response to universal intelligence itself, and life begins to reorganize with a naturalness that previously seemed impossible. The phrase you feel in your body, pronounced with conviction, becomes a true quantum command. In this moment, you're no longer waiting. You're no longer in hope. You're declaring resonance. And the instant you declare, you're already entering the frequency that corresponds to what you desire. This is the complete cycle. This is why manifestation seems so mysterious to so many people. They complicate what should be natural, simple, and effortless. Many believe that significant results require constant struggle, extreme effort, and multiple attempts, when in reality, the quantum field responds to clarity, not force. Intense and dispersed effort often generates internal resistance, fragments your energy, and delays manifestation. Coherence, the perfect harmony between thoughts, emotions, and intentions, is the true catalyst of what you desire. Every signal you emit of deep alignment is instantly recognized by the quantum field, triggering the reorganization of reality around you. Before we conclude this journey together, take a conscious pause and reflect deeply. What is the energy you want to manifest from this moment forward? Think in terms of frequency, not just words. When you write in the comments a word that captures this energy, you're not just interacting. You're sending the universe a clear and powerful vibrational signature. Every word becomes a quantum command, a direct reflection of your highest intention. It's not a symbolic gesture. It's an active declaration that strengthens the resonance of your energy field. By consciously choosing this word, you're communicating to the universe exactly who you've decided to be from this instant. You're affirming your frequency, sustaining your coherence, and creating space for the field to reorganize all circumstances, people, and opportunities in alignment with your goal. This simple but deeply intentional act is what transforms manifestation into something natural, inevitable, and aligned with your desired reality. Every comment, every written intention is like an energetic beacon that guides the quantum field, accelerating the materialization of what you've chosen. Remember, the field isn't testing you. It's not withholding anything. It responds immediately to the frequency you maintain. You don't need to wait. You don't need to chase. Just be. Less effort, more resonance. Less asking, more presence. When you live this way, life becomes a continuous series of quantum leaps, moment to moment, reality to reality, until you realize you were never separated from what you desired. You just weren't conscious of it. Now you've awakened. What changes or insights do you perceive in your consciousness as you absorb this understanding? Share in the comments what is transforming within you. Your reflections strengthen the collective field we're creating together. Keep this frequency alive. Return to it daily. Declare it, breathe it, live it, and allow the universe to organize everything around you. Everything you desire is already in motion, faster than you imagine. If this exploration awakens something within you and you feel the call to continue on this consciousness journey, subscribe to the Quantum Labs channel, not just to connect, but to remain coherent with this energy and follow every step of quantum evolution. The more people embody this understanding, the more the world reflects this truth. Until we meet again, stay aligned, light, and awake. Never forget, you're not waiting for your reality. Your reality is waiting for you. Manifestation isn't about effort, but about presence and coherence. Every conscious choice, every aligned breath, every focused thought strengthens your frequency and accelerates the materialization of the reality you're already tuning into. Stay attentive to your energy. Trust the quantum flow, and continue practicing the art of becoming what you want to experience. You possess within yourself the power to transform the impossible into the inevitable. Breathe deeply, connect with this force, and move forward with confidence. The universe is always conspiring in favor of those who align with their own truth. Welcome to the now. Welcome to your new reality. You already are everything you desire to achieve.